Hey, Shabbat Shalom, everyone. Who has had the greatest impact on your life? Think about that for a minute. I asked that question because in this week's Torah reading, Moses is approached. The great Jewish leader Moshe is approached in the wilderness by Korach and his followers, 250 people that start complaining to Moshe and accusing him of usurping all of the power, of becoming a king, taking upon himself the greatest leadership position in the Jewish community, and in some act of nepotism, appointing his own brother as the high priest. Umadua titnasu al kahal Hashem, Korach asks, why are you elevating yourself on the assembly of God? Kulam kadoshim, we're all holy. Who are you to take upon yourself to become the king and your brother the high priest? And the commentators struggle with what really was Korach's motivation and why this was seen really as sinful and an inappropriate kind of accusation against Moshe. Rabbi Soloveitchik explains very beautifully, it's because Korach misunderstood the real power of who Moshe and Aaron were. To this day, how do we refer to Moses? Yes, Moses was technically a king, but does anyone ever refer to Moshe as Moshe, HaMelech Moshe? Right? No, we refer to Moses as a prophet, and really as our Rebbe, as our teacher, Moshe Rabbeinu, Moshe our teacher. Because Moshe's greatest influence were his values and his teachings, not the fact that he was a king and had power. And this is a very, very important idea in our world. If you ask yourself and you think about who are the people that have had the greatest shaping influence over the world, are they people with power or are they people with influence? The great existential thinker Soren Kierkegaard once said that when a king dies, his power ends. But when a prophet dies, his influence just begins. And this is how Rabbi Jonathan Sachs explains how the Jewish people who have been powerless throughout the centuries have nonetheless been extraordinarily influential. Because what really makes the difference in other people's lives is not when you put a gun to someone's head and says this is the way you have to live, but by role modeling certain behavior and by espousing certain values. That's what really shapes the world. And that's why the Jewish people have had tremendous influence without much power. And that's why Moshe Rabbeinu is referred to this day as our teacher, our influencer, not the king. And I think this is a very important lesson for all of us, because we, the Jewish people, are supposed to have an influence on the world. We don't need power for that. What we need are great lessons and teachings, and we've got that in our Torah. And what we need to do for other people, and what we need from others, from our role models and our mentors, is to learn and to be influenced by them. That's what MGE is about, that's what our Torah is about, and that's what ultimately makes us into the people who we are. The best version of ourselves comes about, not from power trips, but by the influence and teachings and values of great people. Shabbat Shalom.